You know the names: Achilles, Odysseus, Hector. Their stories are etched into marble, sung by bards, studied in ivory towers. But what if I told you there were others, mighty warriors, brilliant minds, loyal kings, men who bled on the same battlefields, whose hands helped bring Troy to its knees? And yet, their names faded into shadow, not because they were weak, but because they didn't need to scream for attention. This is their series, the ones you were never told to remember, but never should have forgotten. Welcome to Echoes of the Unsung, and I can't think of a better voice to start this series than my own. My name is Diomedes, son of Tydeus, king of Argos, and the man who wounded 2 gods in one day. Sit with me. I'll tell you how it all began. They call me a mortal, and yet I fought the gods and lived. I was born in Argos, but the fire in my blood came from Calydon. My father was Tydeus, an exile turned legend, one of the famed 7 against Thebes. He was fierce, loyal, and yes, savage, too savage, even for the gods. Athena once wanted to grant him immortality, but when he cracked open a man's skull and lapped at the brains like a starving wolf, she recoiled. Even divine favor has limits. He died before I could remember his face, so all I had left was his shadow, and a legacy soaked in unfinished war. I was raised among kings, but I grew up knowing that one day I'd have to finish what my father started, and I did. When I was barely out of boyhood, I marched with the Epigoni, the sons of the 7. We returned to Thebes and tore down the walls that had killed our fathers. I still remember the smoke, the blood, the way the city screamed. We succeeded where they had failed, and when old King Adrastus died, heartbroken over the son he lost in that same war, I took the throne of Argos. I married Aegialia, his granddaughter, made peace with Calydon by avenging my grandfather Aeneas, whose own kin had betrayed him. I restored his throne, buried him with honor, and founded a city in his name. I was young, but I had already led armies, toppled cities, and settled scores. When the call came to sail for Troy, I was more than ready. I brought 80 ships, one of the largest fleets in the Achaean host, and I had every intention of returning with glory, or not returning at all. The war was brutal, endless, but that's where I shone. Achilles had his moments, Hector too, but when book 5 of that cursed tale was written, it was mine. Athena, my patron, my guide. She set fire in my eyes that day. Not metaphorically. She literally lit me up like a star at harvest. My armor blazed, my heart thundered, and I waded into the Trojans like a scythe through wheat. Pandarus shot me. I pulled the arrow out, smiled, and speared him through the face.
Hold up a sec. You pulled the arrow out?
Okay, fine. I asked Sthenelus to do it, you know, because I couldn't reach it. Anyways, like I was saying, then came Aeneas, Aphrodite's precious boy. Strong, sure. I crushed his hip with a boulder and would have finished him too, but Mommy Dearest showed up. Aphrodite herself swept down to take him from the battlefield. I saw her, and I didn't flinch. I drove my spear into her wrist. A goddess. She screamed, fled. Good. But she brought her brother back, Ares, the god of war. And still, I didn't back down. Athena took the reins of my chariot, guided my arm, and with a single throw, I drove my spear into the gut of the war god himself. He shrieked like a dying man, like we do. He fled too. 2 gods in one day. No other mortal has done that. Only Heracles, and he's half god himself. I'm not. I'm just a man, and yet, I made the gods bleed. But I wasn't just a butcher. I was a strategist, a diplomat. When I met Glaucus in battle, I asked him who he was, not because I feared him, but because honor matters. Turned out our grandfathers had once shared wine and shelter. By the law of Xenia, we were guest friends. So we laid down our weapons, swapped armor. He gave me his gold. I gave him my bronze. Poor guy. Zeus must have fogged his brain that day. But that trade, it was worth more than any trophy. It was legacy. I also stood up to Agamemnon, that pompous lion in a king's robe. When he lost heart, I called him out, told him I'd fight with just Sthenelus and the gods if I had to. And when he tried to buy back Achilles, like a spoiled child bargaining for a toy, I told him it was a mistake. I was right. Again. And then there was the raid. The night Odysseus and I slipped into enemy lines, like shadows with blades. We caught a Trojan scout, Dolon. He begged. I killed him. He told us about a new ally, Rhesus of Thrace, who brought fine horses and a prophecy. If those horses drank from the Scamander River, Troy would never fall. So we struck first. 12 men died in their sleep. Rhesus, too. The prophecy? Snuffed out, like a torch in the rain. I was there when the Palladium, Athena's sacred statue, was stolen. I was the one who carried it out of Troy. Some say Odysseus tried to betray me, to claim the glory. He failed. I spared him anyway. Because sometimes necessity outweighs revenge. Then came the wooden horse. Yes, I was inside. Yes, I helped open the gates. Yes, I walked those burning streets with blood on my hands. And yes, I killed those who needed killing. And when it was over, I went home, or tried to. I reached Argos faster than most, swift winds, divine favor. But it didn't matter. Aegialia, my queen, had betrayed me. Some say she was seduced, others blame Aphrodite, still holding a grudge. I believe both. She locked me out. Her lovers hunted me in the night, and I fled. A king without a kingdom, a hero without a home. I wandered, Aetolia, then westward, across the sea. I found Daunus, king of the Daunians. He offered me land, a wife. All he wanted was victory, so I gave it to him. I married Wipe, his daughter, founded Argyripa. They still call it Arpi today. I built cities, ruled justly, brought Greek law, Athena's wisdom, and the discipline of war to a new world. The locals say I taught them civilization. I just needed a second chance. They say some of my companions were turned into white seabirds after they died, that they guard my tomb on the islands of Diomedes, still circling, still loyal. I don't know if that's true, but I like the thought. When Aeneas landed in Italy, Turnus came begging me to fight again. I said no. I'd already spilled enough Trojan blood. Let the dead have their war. I had peace. Some say I died and became immortal, lifted up by Athena at last. Others say I died quietly, buried under the Italian sun. But listen, they remembered me. Temples, shrines, cities. They sang my name in places my enemies never reached. And now, so do you. Stay curious, friends, because the greatest stories are the ones buried just beneath the surface.